Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Nations Championship. This one an intriguing old contest. Fiji again playing away from home, but this is regarded as their home matchup. They are sitting 0 from 2 throughout the Nations Championship so far. They go head-to-head up against the Scottish side that were very valiant in their matchup against the Argentines in round number 1. In fact, they did well enough to get themselves the victory. Second game against the Box. They were then defeated in that matchup. Or have I got that round the wrong way? In fact, we'll go like this, and we'll go like that for a second. Yeah, managing to get the victory over the Argentines, 47 points to 38. It was an extremely high-scoring game, one of the more highest scoring that we have seen in this competition. A few big changes across the lineup for this matchup, with the Fijians looking to just turn their season around after a big loss to the English just last week. Looking through at the starting lineup, it is Aroni Maui, Tavita Ikanaveri and Masaki Donge as the Fijian front rowers. So Nasila Silla alongside Timo Mayanavanua in the locking duo. Peter Gasoakola, Lekima Tangi Valu and Ilya Tanakaivata will slot in as that number 8, Frank Domani and Caleb Muntz in that 9 and 10 combination. Jita Wanyanyolo out on the left wing. Joshua Tuisova in the midfield alongside Varemi Pakatawa comes back into the side. Unfortunately, Semi Radradra ending up with that injury in the first round of the Nations Championship, so very brief stint at international level for that man. I will also mention that Lomani is back in the starting side due to the Kuravuli red card that will leave him out of a few weeks of Fijian action. Celestino Ravotomunda out on the right wing with Isaiah Armstrong Ravula as the number 15 for the Scottish. Wholesale changes across this lineup compared to what we did see just last week against South Africa. Rory Sutherland, Gregor Hiddleston and Darcy Ray as the front rowers. Johnny Gray and Max Williamson in the locking duo with Josh Bayliss, Freddie Douglas and Gregor Brown comes in as that number 8. So we do see a lot of switches. Xander Fagerson, Rory Darsh and Jack Dempsey, what we did see last week, whereas in this week's game we don't see any of those three featuring throughout the 80 minutes. In the back line, it is George Horn as the 9 with Fergus Burke at 10. Out on the left wing, Duan van der Merwe. Some surprised that he hasn't been included up until this stage. In the midfield, it is Stafford McDowell and Ollie Smith. Darcy Graham out on the right wing and Tom Jordan as the number 15. So, those are the starting lineups, ladies and gentlemen. Has Fiji ever won in Murrayfield? Says Kahu, you are the Scottish entrepreneur or the aficionado, Kahu, so surely you know that information and you just want me to say it. We have got there the Southern Hemisphere Kikanas, says Immigrant, or at the moment we've had 3 games and it is 2-1 in favour of the South for this round. So far throughout the Nations Championship, we are 3-3 and 3-3 from the 2 rounds. More than likely we're going to be 3-3 at the end of this round 2. Below Hamish, throat sounds dry, remember to hydrate. Says Mr. Billy, yeah, we have still got plenty more coming up. Our last live stream will be finishing in about 8 hours' time. Good afternoon, I was working today. What was the score between the All Blacks and Ireland? Was it the number of the unbeaten streak? So the streak is now 53. New Zealand able to get themselves the victory in that game, 40 points to the 21 of the Irish. I'm sorry, I don't know much about Fiji, to be honest. Says Kahu, I'm very surprised to see Rayasi not starting. Yeah, a bit of a change in terms of the Fijian lineup as well. Definitely based off Rayasi's current form for Bordeaux, as well as for the Fijians. He is a very handy player. So it makes me intrigued to know why the change of Isaiah Armstrong Ravula into the starting side. Maybe just trying a little bit, rotating through the team too for the Fijians. In this match, Duan and Tom Jordan for tries in Scotland by 13+. Says Jameson, and what's your prediction for this game? Says Kahu, I think Scotland should be able to get the job done. They played well enough in their match last week against South Africa. That told me that they will be determined, although a lot of changes, like I said, compared to that last matchup against the Box. In terms of Fiji, very hard to know how they come into this game in terms of form, because that last matchup against the English, they were poor. They got a red card too, which didn't help, but already by that stage, they were done and dusted in that matchup. This is kind of where they need some big moments just to give them some sort of hope heading into the later stages. Good afternoon, how are you, Hamish? Welcome back to YouTube. And did Rossi make any changes today? No idea yet. I think we'll find out a little bit closer to the kickoff of this contest. What's your prediction for this game? I'm going Scotland by 25. We'll go with that. That might be too optimistic for the Fijians. That also might be a little bit too harsh on the Fijians. But yeah, there's a chance this one's one-sided. What is going on? Why are they showing me a video for no reason? Says Kahu, it's a little bit to do with the history of Fiji. Because you've got to remember, this is considered as a Fijian home game. So before the game, they were doing all the cultural stuff for the Fijian side. Something that we saw last week up against the Welsh. And also, 2 weeks ago against the Welsh and also England. Just last week, what was the final score of the Italy-Aussie game? I missed it. Says Noah, so in the end, that game finished up. It was 57-10 in the end. We have got there, how Fiji will do depends on their discipline. Says Mr. Billy, yeah, they need to make sure that they do extremely well, give away little penalties throughout this 80 minutes. For God's sakes, nobody cares, says Kahu. That's about the most disrespectful thing you've said in your channel's history, Kahu. And the thing is, this game's being hosted in Scotland, and they have welcomed the Fijians with open arms. They have been in this scenario where they want Fiji to showcase their culture before the game, and ignorance like that shows maybe why certain people shouldn't have opinions on things. We have got there the North, as all the Six Nations teams. The Fiji have to sit with Fiji, the South have to fit with Fiji and Japan, but only the top South versus North teams in the final. Says Andrea there. Yeah, but they split them into two hemispheres, so it is, of course, going to be that back and forth of how many are won by the North, how many are won by the South. But yeah, Fiji and Japan slightly hurting the South at the moment in terms of the records that we've seen. And why is Fiji not playing at home this year? Says Mohadin, it is just down a little bit to financials, as well as the fact that I think their stadiums weren't quite as big as they wanted them to be. Exactly, says Sok. And there as well. But for this game, we are, of course, going to have the national anthems. And referee for the game. 1 second, I'll get you the referee's name while we're waiting for this match to get underway. 1 second, we'll go like that. We'll go like that. So the referee in charge of this match is going to be Matthew Carley. So we'll go like that. And we'll go like that as well. We are currently listening to the band playing as well. And now they are going to sing the Fijian national anthem. We have got there is the rookie, Mr. Kutch. See, that's almost, tell you what, I wasn't going to fall for it, Tony, but the pronunciation of it almost got me to say it out loud. I hope you are doing well after the result. Did you go to the Eden Park test, by the way, Tony, seeing as you are from up that way? Who's the referee for the Springbok game? Says Mohadin. We'll let you know a little bit closer to that matchup we have got there. Who do you think will score the tries for Fiji? I think if anyone was going to be able to score a try for this Fijian side, it's probably Jeta Wainiolo. He has been a phenomenal option out on the wing for a relatively long time. And not just for Fiji, but also in the French top 14 too. Come on, the Springboks. Come on, Scotland. Come on, Springboks. Says Bruce. And there as well. They are just saying Flower Scotland. It's just something about a national anthem at Murrayfield. No, not tonight. I was in Perry Marimo. I've never heard of that place. So I had to hesitate to say it because I assumed that may have also been one of your attempts of one of your things. At what time were you live for the Springboks? 3 a.m. New Zealand time, so in about an hour and 52 minutes time. If this game runs smoothly, we should be able to make it on time. With a little bit of luck. There we have got there. What club is Fergus Burke playing for? It's a good question. Where's he actually ended up, Fergus Burke? I think he was with Saracens at one point? Where has he? Because of course he was with the Crusaders. Whereabouts does he play? Premiership rugby at Saracens. Yep. So he's still there by the looks of it. And Apare is the best prison to do a lag in. Says immigrant there. And we have got there. You must be happy with the Wars game. Yeah, they got the win. That was the main thing because it was relatively close near the halftime break. 1 second, we'll go like this. And we'll go like that as well. Just anyone wondering about the line in terms of how this game sits, they are expecting the Fijians to get themselves a relatively... Scotland should win by a decent margin, I think is the best way of describing it. Yes, indeed, says Tony. The Fijians singing the national anthem. Multiple changes for both of these lineups, like I mentioned, compared to what we did see just last week, but still strong as a whole. Yeah, will be very intriguing to see what type of impact some of these big boys can have up front, up against a bit of a reshuffled Scottish team. We have their rugby league is way more entertaining in my opinion. Says Aussie Guy YT. Well, luckily there's plenty more rugby league taking place tomorrow as well to satisfy your sports itch. We have got the I'm really hoping Scotland wins this game, says Mr. Monk. Our Rivers Matthew Carley loves giving cards, says Kahu. Well, him and Fiji will probably get to know each other quite well then, because the Fijian international side, they love a good card every once in a while. We saw last week Simeone Kurafoli getting himself red carded. A nice Masui Sport to allow people to have both games on 2 devices/screens. Watch out for Virimi Vakatawe, who has been amazing form in Super Rugby. Yeah, the big man was initially in France. Then they said due to his health that he wasn't able to play in the competition anymore. Fiji and Rua gave him the lifeline and, yeah, dangerous ball runner. He also did nicely in the, I believe it was the Barbarians match. Up against the Springboks, he was playing from 13. Unless I'm getting him confused. I think it was him, though. He actually made up a nice midfield combination with Alex Nankervel in that game. Only Aussies care about league, says Immigrant Free. And also we have got the, I believe, a win is under the Scottish kilt tonight. A win is under the Scottish kilt tonight. Okay. So you go on a win for the Scottish at Murrayfield. It's a pretty decent crowd too, by the looks of it. They are just doing the Thebby. Yeah, it was him. Says Liza, and surely Fiji don't go as bad as last week, right? I think they'll be better, but I don't know how much by. Rugby League, we keep on pitching your talent. You cannot stop us, says Aussie Guy. Although a couple of them coming back to Rugby Union, aren't they? Mark Nawanga-Netawasi, for instance, he's gone over to League, shown how easy it is, and now he's going back to Union to try. No, but no, he's had a phenomenal year, hasn't he? Mark Nawanga-Netawasi, a part of the Ashes series, State of Origin, had the most tries in Rugby League for the NRL last year, I believe it was. No one pitches our ABs, says Immigrant there. And also, let's go Fiji, 36 for the Scots, 28. I think Fiji should use the power game to blow Scotland off the park. And shock and awe, says Sock. Yeah, Fiji need to start quick. Anything other than a fast start here for the Fijians leads, I think, to a loss. But it's just that question of how much are they going to be able to apply that pressure throughout the first 5 or so minutes, or will Scotland find a way of breaking through? They've got a good backline here. Dewan van der Merwe and Darcy Graham, 2 players that people were surprised not to see too much of throughout the rest of the July internationals. And I don't think it's down to a lack of skill. It's just that rotation that we've been seeing. Tom Jordan from the number 15 jersey. Fergus Burke from 10. George Horn, definitely one to keep an eye out from that number 9 jersey. Freddie Douglas too is a bright young prospect for the Scottish team. Here's a stat. The AB's won 52 of the last 56 games against 6 nations countries. That's a good stat. So, no, do we play the game of who were the losses, or is that... I think England last year, November. France in the Rugby World Cup. Was it 2024 the All Blacks lost to France in France, or did they get the win in the end, the Kiwis? And then I think it would have been either France or England again. Probably actually England before that last World Cup, right? Were they the 4, or have I just made those up? We have got there, me and Annie are going to make nice, tasty burgers for our tomorrow braai soon for the dogs. Barney and Trixie. I thought you want to know that, says Bruce. I do love a good burger, that is for sure. The national anthems have now been sung. What is it about Eden Park? I really don't know, because sides go there and they get close sometimes, but I don't know. It's just the fortress at this stage. It's definitely not Wellington. And we have got there, Dream On, mate. There's a reason why hardly anyone care about leagues. He's Immigrant. Great to see the All Blacks have given Tava Nawai 1 game and then ditched him. Thanks for ruining his international career. Says Jason, and how's it, Hamish? Good to see and listen to you again. Listening from Namibia. Says Bruno. So yeah, greatly appreciated for you being there again. But now ready to kick this one off. It's probably about 5 minutes after the kickoff in New Zealand. Sorry, missed that bit. Okay, well, I'm probably not as good at guessing. 2 against the Irish in 2022. I know of those ones. Who else would it have been? Probably England, right? Back in the day. Nice take. A big collision right off the get-go. Nice take from the Scottish, but a very strong tackle from Celestino Ravatomunda. George Horn from inside of his 22, looking to go for the box kick. Just to clear the lines. It's a good crowd at Murrayfield, though. I'm not seeing too many empty seats for this contest. Rugby League is 80 minutes of non-stop action. Edge of your seat action, says Aussie Guy. So which of the games today was your favourite, Aussie Guy, out of the NRL games? Now ready to throw it into Veda Ikanaveri. Going over the top. Nice inside ball from Peter Sowakula up to Celestino Ravatomanda. Offloaded back from Lomani. Back to Sowakula. And Fiji start offloading that ball quickly. It's very hard to rattle off the names in time. Lomani away to Timo Mainavanua. Tackled on the 22-metre line by Douglas as well as Darcy Ray. Monks goes away to the left-hand side. Finds the hands of Joshua Tuisova. Remy Vakatawa with a straightening run of his own, but Scotland have turned it into a rolling maul. The ball comes out the back though. My son's club rugby Div 1 team made it to the final. Does that Takaha? When's that one taking place, Ange? Well, that would be next Saturday, right? Now back across to the right-hand side. Joshua Tuisova passes it on again. Lamani to 5 phases in a row. Muntz can't quite sneak through. This is definitely going to be the start that Fiji needed, but they also need a try at the end of this play. Now Tuisova, skip pass, knock on there from Ilya Whanakaivata, and it will be back to the Scottish scrum near the start of this match. How's the poll in favour of Scotland? Surely Scotland are massive favourites. Wait, how is the poll in favour of Scotland? As in wait, so you're saying that the poll should be more in favour of Scotland, right? Seeing as they are favourites and they are considered favourites for the poll too. Unless you meant to say Fiji. Hang on, I'll have a look. And it's given us something better to do, Hamish. They're getting a good night's sleep. And also draw on this match. Yeah, so you meant to say Fiji were the favourites. But yeah, Scotland are considered to win this game by a good 40 points or so. We have there, Kiwi Lads coverage is way better than Fox Sports. Says Aussie guys, next Sunday, says Ange. It'll be quite cool being able to play in the stadium though, won't it? Now, penalty goes the way of Scotland. It's out from their own 22, but they will be able to get it downfield. Sorry, how's the poll in favour of Fiji? Obviously, I mean, globally, Fiji seem to be a lot of people's second team. So maybe that's why. Great crowd at Murrayfield. Fantastic crowd at Murrayfield here. It's always a tricky one to know how an away from home game will go, even though it's a home game really for the Scottish, and it seems like a lot of people piling in to see them in action. The next time that they will see them play at this location, I want to say will be up against the All Blacks. Although they might have Japan beforehand. And we have got there whose ball says Mohodena is currently in the hands of Gregor Hiddleston for Scotland as they sit 45 metres out from the Fijian line. Now looking to get this rolling maul going. In the right direction here. Timo Mainavanua told to get out of there, but he's still having a bit of a fiddle at the ball. George Horn back across to the right-hand side. Now looping around. Nice run from Fergus. Burke fends off Tuisova. And still pumping the legs there, Burke. We have got the Sport the Wellington Lions. And the kits. So here's Jonathan there. So Scotland wearing their classic blue. And Fiji wearing the white. And it was Scotland playing next. I'm so lost in the championship, says Shannon. So their next game will be up against New Zealand in November. What I will quickly do is that. There we go. So these are the next games of the Nations Championship after this round. There's about a 4-month break before we see sides back in action. Bayliss. So 4 minutes through this contest. George Horn finding the ball in the bottom of the breakdown. Darcy Ray across to Burke again. Scotland now starting to get their backline movement flowing. Tom Jordan dodges the tackle. Atento Lomani twice. Did fly full steam ahead there, Lomani, but just got changed last direction. Now Horn back across to the right-hand side. Good run from Bayliss again. To the right. Scotland still about 30 metres out from the Fijian line with 10 phases in a row. People select with their hearts at their heads. We have got their Van der Merwe, says Jack. Now short ball from Horn. Goes on the inside to Graham, who was absolutely smashed there. Looks like he's all right, though. Although, no, maybe not. He's shaking his head at the moment on the ground, Darcy Graham, as if to say maybe he got set up by his teammate. Now back to the right. My son's friend teammate is the son of the Division 1 captain. So here's Angie there. Now away. Rory Sutherland moves it across. Another offload from Scotland. Selling a dummy from Jordan. Moves up to the 22 as the crowds start to come alive a little bit more at Murrayfield. George Horn trying to get rid of Muntz. Can't make those extra metres. When you watch the game, Amish, I'm watching on Sky Sport 1 here in New Zealand. I believe they are the option right throughout the day. It's one of the mascots. I just left the pitch. Says Joel next. Well, hopefully it all went smoothly for you. What's the grass like? Is it dry? I'd assume there's a little tiny bit of moisture on the surface just to help with the sliding, but other than that, we'll be pretty free-flowing for this game, definitely with the Fijians involved. Ball still on the side of Scotland. They've got 18 phases here, ladies and gentlemen. They keep on going, but now there is the advantage against Fiji. And it's the last thing that they could afford to do. Horn still trying to find that ball in the breakdown. Up to Darcy Ray. And just as to shove off Masaki Donge. Tobias was better than Geordie. There's Immigrant there. Now back across there. Up to 20 phases here for the Scottish. As Geordie Barrett, top 3 All Black, now says Jack. He'd definitely be up there on the list of guys that Rennie would write down in the early stages. Where will you be wearing a tie for the bot game? No, we would just be wearing this once again. We have got there more direct, says Immigrant, and also we have got there Come on Fiji, do the 3Ds. Thanks for the fantastic coverage. I really enjoy it, says Aussie guys, but the penalty goes the way of Scotland. 7 minutes into this contest. And I mean, my son's teammate is the son of Division 1 captain. Says Ange. That's a big shot on Darcy Graham. He was smiling through it and shaking his head as if to say, yeah, no, that was a bit more of a harder shot than I was anticipating. What Super Rugby team do you support? I don't actually really have one out of the Kiwi sides. Now scrum feed here for Scotland. About 10 metres out from the Fijian line. Pressure right from the get-go. Fiji having some early possession, but now it's starting to sway back into the favour of the technical home side. And George Horn puts it in. That one didn't really go into the scrum per se. It only went underneath the blindside flanker, but they'll go to the right-hand side now. Nice shuffle from Fergus Burke. Again, smashed in the challenges from Fiji. There are no half hits that will be coming in defensively here from this Fijian side. Pick and go. 2 metres out from the try line. Now having another crack. It's going to be Johnny Gray this time. Now back across, Gregor Brown. Another penalty advantage against the Fijians. George Horn goes to Stafford McDowell. Burke cleans it up. Gives it off to Jordan. Offload up to Stafford McDowell. Back across to Burke. And a big, massive smashing tackle from Joshua Tuisova to take it back to another advantage. And the penalty. Yes, thanks for the consistent coverage, eh? For those of us who can't find a stream, I'm in Canada. Says Jameson. Is it on World Rugby's website in Canada, Jameson? It might be. Or sorry, on their YouTube channel. I think they've done some of the games so far on YouTube. Do you think if Duan made the Springbok side instead of the Scotland side, he would have been as good as he is? Or be a great addition to the box, says Young. It's very hard to tell. Because, you know, if you say anything about it, people get angry about it pretty much. But he's a very talented player. And he's got that size. He's got the speed as well off the mark. So I think he's a great addition to any international side. And it was the 2026 Hurricanes the best Super Rugby team in history. They did well. They scored the most tries out of any side in a Super Rugby season and also won the final in dominant fashion. So they'll probably get put into that category. The records that they did set. Now rolling ball here for Scotland. 5 metres out from the try line currently. Ball at the back with Gregor Hiddleston. Told to use it once by Matthew Carley. Now getting very close to the line. Fiji looking to defend it. I'm trying to find where that ball is. There it is. It's with Hiddleston. Look like Fiji just sacking that ball. Couple metres short of the line and they manage to get themselves the scrum now. Wherever their ball's 2009, says Ian. And when I search World Rugby Live, you actually come up as the 3rd video. Oh, there you go. But yeah, I know that for some countries they've got it available, but for others, sadly, it isn't. It supports the Otago Paper Playing Club. Very intense this year. Compe Hamish says sock. My sister, a couple years ago, actually got me like such a random story that I don't think anyone cares about, but she got me like a paper plane set thing that has like a plane that you make each day. Never made any of the planes, but if I'm ever bored and I've got a full year, I can make 365 different paper planes of all different models. So that'll be fun. What was your thoughts on Ireland versus New Zealand? Didn't get as close as I wanted it to. But, yeah, I think that New Zealand, they did a lot of things right. And it did seem like there were improvements compared to their matchup against France as well as Italy. Now going back across to the right-hand side here again. Caleb Muntz picking it downfield. And pops it into touch. And see, I know it says sock. We over there do a video on best players, old positions, using an age only once. Also, you'd need like a 35-year-old. Oh, no, I guess 33 to 18 you would be able to do, wouldn't you, for a starting lineup? Gregor Hiddleston now. For another line-out throw for the Scots. Sitting 12 metres out from the Fijian 22. One's going to be over the top. Brown got a fingertip to it, but it goes back now to Tavera Ikanaveri. Thought about the wide cut-out pass from Ilya Thorakovata. Instead was shut down, but now gets the offload away. Ball out to Jita Huanyanolo. Currently 11 minutes through this game, and Scotland drive the Fijians into touch. And now if neither team scored, what are they doing? Says Aryan, they're just defending all right, to be fair. And regarding the All Blacks, as Will Jordan now the top try scorer. He is for international games for the All Blacks with 51. In terms of international all-time try scorers, he's still got about 16 to go. And also for all-time All Blacks try scorers, it's actually still John Kerwin, but that was including tour matches up against non-international sides. So, yeah, it depends on what accolade, but he is going to be the most decorated try scorer very soon. I think not just for New Zealand, but probably for the whole world as well. What happened between Ireland and New Zealand? I'm still at work, says Rome. So in the end, New Zealand were able to keep that streak alive at Eden Park, winning the contest 40 points to 21. And where can I watch this game, by the way? It's on Sky Sport here in New Zealand. It is on the World Rugby YouTube channel for certain locations. Do a video of best 1 to 15, more than 100 caps, says Jack there. It seems like you've got a lot of video ideas for the near future. Now going off to the left-hand side, chance here for Tuhan van der Merwe. Cuts back in, trying to go through Jita Wainanyolo as opposite number in this contest. Fiji leaving the feet in the breakdown. Now Williamson delays his pass to Jordan. This has been quite even. Like, don't get me wrong, Fiji have had to defend a lot more than the Scots at this point in time, but they've managed to survive, which I think is the very impressive part. But as soon as Scotland get through once, perhaps they will get through multiple times. Horn going away to Stafford McDowell. Short ball. There we go. I just jinxed a big time. Beautiful run for from Ollie Smith. Goes to George Horn. Not a lot of arms involved. And Celestino Rabotomunda's tackle. Fiji almost getting the turnover, but just not quite able to. Now just short of the line. Another advantage against the Fijians. Playing halfback now. Sutherland. Another advantage. And this one's for a no-arms tackle too. Jacobson cost us like 2 tries. We were attacking on their try line. He got carded. It would have been 21-0. Then Ireland scored a try when he was off, says Immigrant. That's almost, yes, it is the first try of the contest. Looked like Johnny Gray got it down. You do the 3 ads? Do the 3 ads. As in like on YouTube? I think YouTube do all the automatic setting of when the ads take place on the channel. Do a video, best players 1 to 15, only used in a country once. Says Jack there, and also we've got there, hope Fiji gets a Tier 1 coach soon, World Cup like next year, says Mr. Billy. And Ireland to pass their prime, says Xander. Just checking to see if there is a clear. Yeah, that's down for Johnny Gray. Tell you what, today has been a day and a half for locks to score the first tries. Tui Pelotu scored in the game between the All Blacks and Ireland. Josh Cannon scored the first one for Australia against the Italians. We're seeing now Johnny Gray scoring the first try of the match for the Scottish. And then France versus Japan. It was Limoth. He ruined it. He was the hooker who scored it. I wish my 28-year-old daughter says you are cute and asks if you have a single son. A single son? Well, he would be, if I did, how old am I? I'm 26. So even if I had a son quite young, he'd only be 10 for your 28-year-old daughter. So that's not good. Thoughts on Jacobson yellow card? I feel he was very lucky. He probably was lucky. I could have seen it as a yellow or a red, and I don't think I would have had too many complaints. That one from George Horn has gone over, though, after Scotland strike first at Murrayfield. Score now 7-0 in the Scottish favour. Go Tonga, says Jeremiah. Yeah, they are playing a little bit later on tonight as well, aren't they? 1 second, we'll go like that. And we'll go... Have I got the overlay? No, I don't. I had the overlay in terms of who was playing who. And the Nations Cup as well, but it has disappeared. YouTube are annoying. If 1 or 2 ads aren't enough, they chuck in 3 in a row. 3 in a row is brutal, isn't it? And what do you think about Super Rugby going down to 10 teams? Is it dying? Not really. It's just Moana didn't have the funding. A little bit of push and shove almost between the teams, but Fiji will receive the penalty. Matthew Carley just using a little bit of wording there. He said to Fiji, step away, because there was a Scottish player that was going back and forth with them. He said, it's your penalty, Fiji. Would be ashamed to lose it. One's going to be kicked into the touchline. Massive in-goal areas at Murrayfield. You can really get away with a good chip in behind. It's not good or great. These other sides like Italy and Fiji battling. Bad for World Rugby and the World Cup next year. Says Roy Hart. 26, I have holes without socks older than you. Says Martin. Socks without holes. Tell you what, that's a good pair of socks. Now looking for this rolling maul for Fiji. Trying to answer straight back into Vita Ikanaviri. He's got it down on the line, but it kind of looked like he might have crawled over the try line there. So they may just check this, but if it is a legal one, Fiji have just scored themselves the try. Right. They might check it. Any updates on the Italian red card? My guess is a 6-week ban. Nothing yet. I think it will be mid next week that they do give a decision. As World Cup rig, making the best Southern team play each other. I'd like to think it's not, but then the way that the draw's set up, it just did look like it was going to be that way, like right from the get-go. It's the same with New Zealand and Australia being in the same group. The only sad reality was the fact that they didn't go with the New Zealand-Australia opener. Instead, it's Australia versus Hong Kong. We have their wild card said D-Mac was his man of the match. There's Immigrant there. Now, as Armstrong Ravula, missing that one away to the right-hand side, but the try has stood. And Fiji now back into this contest, 7 points to 5. And how's it going? I've probably overdosed on football lately, so it's good to hear about the rugby, says Nick. Because when is that World Cup final? It'll be tomorrow, right? Or is it today? I'll have a quick look. When is it taking place? Men's internationals. So tomorrow, in about 7.5 hours' time, I guess that's today here in New Zealand, it's France versus England. And then Monday morning is Spain versus Argentina. I thought there was a double movement. The Fijian player crawls on the floor, but game on. Says, good to see you there. And wildcard is too mellow and calm for my liking, says Jason. Now, kick downfield from Frank Lamoney. It's a nice clearing kick too. The ball does go into Touch Rugby TV. Our YouTube channel showing this game live. Says Ian there. Hopefully, I'd assume that that's just a legal one that will get taken down at some stage, but hopefully it sticks around for a little while. The soccer needs to end now. They took over all channels and we are dealing with the trauma, says Xander. Now away to the left, Scotland with the attacking start round the halfway line. George Horn away now. Ollie Smith fires it in behind. A bit of a no-look, optimistic pass. That one, Graham now. It's nutmeg through. Caleb Muntz's legs. Beautiful pick up from Gita Wainanyolo, who looks to run it out of the Fijian 22. Offload back to Aroni Maui. And that's the crazy thing about this Fijian side. It doesn't matter whether you're wearing 1 or 15 on your back. You still have a chance of offloading that ball and keeping it alive. Now passed across to the right-hand side. Joshua Tuisova. He has the man with him. And Celestino Rabo-Tomanda puts the grubber forward. Beautifully done by the Fijian right winger. And they take the lead in this contest now, Fiji. As Ruben love the 10 to go in with South Africa. So they have tried something different in July. I think he's looking like the 10 option. We over there, yeah, baby, says Sock there, but Fiji with Celestino Rabo-Tomanda. Beautifully timed in terms of when to kick that ball. And again, Fiji were only just out from their own line before going for just multiple passes to keep it alive. And then puts it on the boot and finishes it off. Celestino Rabo-Tomanda. Wow. Says it's Nino there. That's probably one of the better tries that we have actually seen throughout this Nations Championship competition up till date. But the skill of Rabo-Tomanda, who also managed to stay on his feet, as I mentioned, as he was about to fall over, but just stayed up long enough. And the box have 3 world-class 10s. New Zealand needs more than one option at 10 for versus the box in Africa, says Ian. Oh, that one's going to miss away to the left-hand side. And also, Fiji showing that the box clearly broke the Scots yet again. So here's Xander, and also here and Jason. I really like you, Hammy. And Jason's asking his arrest. And who says immigrant? Just nicely done by Ravo Tamande. How many games will the All Blacks go without losing at Eden Park? They'll be hoping that it's a few more, probably. 20 minutes gone in this contest. Fiji leading 10 points to 7. Try of the tournament potentially. Yeah, it was a phenomenal one, and the penalty going the way of Scotland, though. The early obstruction from Fiji after doing something so right and getting the try to give away the penalty pretty much straight after. And like I've said, it's one of those ones that absolutely annoy the daylights out of the coach. And South hasn't lost. This is a disaster for Scotland. I'd have a stroke if Fiji actually win this, says War Plunder. Is it true that you can now also get Wi-Fi and sliced bread in New Zealand? Yeah, it came in recently. I still remember when my small town got fibre, everyone was losing their minds. They were like, what is this witchcraft? But no. We've had sliced bread for a little while. Super thick sliced bread. That's where the real stuff is. Now ready to throw this one in. Nicely taken at the front by Max Williamson. And it's ruled as a knock on there from the Fijians. From the Scottish. Doesn't mean now that Fiji have got themselves the scrum feed 6 metres out from their try line. And win or lose, we support you guys. Says Matthew there. Yeah, there it is. Just a knock on in the maul. Are you covering the Baby Box versus Baby Blues? Sadly not, because it does actually overlap with South Africa versus Wales. The scheduling of that game really was not ideal. Because, there would have also been the under-20 game between New Zealand and England, which I would have loved to cover on the channel too. But, that one kicks off in 22 minutes' time. So that's going to overlap with South Africa, Wales as well. All you need is love. Says Ian there. Now ball off the back for Iliafana Kaivata. Good bold tackle made by Fergus Burke, or at least a brave one. Roy Guard's box kicks are rubbish, put us under a lot of pressure. There's him there. That one's gone into touch. A good clearing kick from Frank Lomani. Oh no, in fact, it's Caleb Muntz this time to go downfield. Thanks, says Jameson. But we will be giving updates of those games. So be sure to listen to those. Well, they will be on this stream anyway in the next one. So, they should be pretty easy to squeeze in. England versus France. So here's Malcolm. Yeah, that's the third place final, isn't it? It should be a good game. I wonder if they're showing them in New Zealand. I know that you needed a match pass to be able to watch certain games here in New Zealand. Now backline movement coming up for the Scottish here as they shifted away to the right-hand side. Big shot in the ribcage. But the ball bounces backwards. Now it's Gray with the ball. And we have you there. Look, I support them if they win. If they lose, unfortunately, I will have to turn my back on them. See here's Xander. Can you please do the last part of the Springboks? Please, maybe, depending on the timing and also how close it overlaps with the next one. Now an attack and run from Gregor Brown. Now Horn with the short ball to Gray. He has had a busy start in this match. 2 tries for Fijians, 1 for Scotland. Now George Horn. The ball up again. We both have white and brown bread in New Zealand. We're also getting fancy over here. Says Jason. There's also those ones with seeds on them. Or seeds in them too. A bit of, that's a drop ball from George Horn, but they will go back for the initial penalty anyway. Okay, can't have a Jackler trying to take that ball while you're still rolling. Okay, so France versus England, the bronze final isn't available. But Spain versus Argentina, the final is available here in New Zealand for free-to-air. France versus England in football tonight. Just hoping the 3 Lions can go out with a win. And which Samoa could be this good like Fiji, hopefully for the Rugby World Cup 2027. And to be fair to Samoa, they've actually done extremely well to make it to that World Cup. Because you look at what their year looked like in terms of qualification. They finished 3rd in the Pacific Nations Cup, which meant that they didn't automatically qualify. They then took on the USA. They lost that game, so they didn't automatically qualify. Then they lost to Chile, I think it was. So then they didn't automatically qualify. And then they had to go through the repechage where they drew up against another side that almost got past them in the... Who was it that they drew with? It was someone that they really shouldn't have, but they did in the end. And because of it, Fiji, with points differential, went through. We have it there, rugby players. Might have been Belgium, was it? I was way tougher than American because you see it, the run it straight, rugby cooks them. See, here's Jack. And we have got there another try coming for Scotland. See, here's Bruce. But now chance here for the Scottish. They've had 4 visits to the Fiji in 22. Gregor Hiddleston with this all-important throw-in. Fijians, they were able to defend one of the rolling mauls. Did start about this far out from the line. Listening from Fiji. Says YouTube user, well, it is greatly appreciated you being here. Of course, middle of the night for you guys in Fiji currently. As I lost to Chile, sheesh. Says immigrant, yeah, they were trying their absolute best to not qualify for that World Cup. But in the end, they did it. And they just got there. Yep, that's right, Samoa drew with Belgium. Yeah, I remember covering that game and thinking, how are we in this scenario? And you got to feel for Belgium a little bit. But yeah, Samoa definitely needed to be a part of that competition. And luckily, we get to see them next year. Burke to the right-hand side. Just slightly side shuffling here. Waiting for that ball to come out. Sutherland again with a big shot. A little bit of a counter ruck there from Lakima Tangi Valu. Has given away the penalty advantage. So Scotland again can play this one with a bit of freedom. And they'll go back for the penalty. Great to hear commentary, but seriously, teams are from top 4 down unpredictable. Anything can happen. Worried that gambling deciding the outcome on these games. Says Robert, and it is going to be the yellow card for Lakima Tangi Valu. The last thing that the Fijians needed was to play this game with a disadvantage, definitely after the start that they have had. I'm going to be streaming these games on YouTube. If it says not available in your country, use VPN for us. Or for the US, says the young. Oh, it's actually kind of worse than it first initially looked. It was playing the 9, but he actually played him in the head. Lakima Tangi Valu. Our Fiji performance against Fiji was shocking, though. It was. And the sad thing here is now that Fiji have received a card, there is a chance that this game could go in a similar direction if they aren't careful. Okay. There's just a bit of a conversation there whether or not they saw it as more than a yellow card, but it seems like the agreement is it is only yellow. How much sleep do you get, Hamish? You stay up all night giving live commentary? Yeah, so hardly any sleep on the weekends. The time that I'm going to be sleeping is hopefully in about 10 hours' time, somewhere around there, I'd say. But 6 penalties conceded by the Fijians in this first half. Just the one against Scotland. Can regular yellow be upgraded? It technically can. Although I'd be very surprised if this one gets upgraded purely because of the comment from the TMO saying that he doesn't see it as anything more severe. What's your opinion on the games? Are there any certainties that you are confident on? Says Robert. I'm certain that South Africa will beat Wales later. Unless something really, really, really drastic changes. Do you have any coffee? Believe it or not, I've never had coffee in my life. So normally it's just water that powers me through. Line out here for Hiddleston. Thrown into the front yet again. This one's just stagnant at the moment for the Scottish maul. You have to make sure that, again, they avoid any sort of penalty advantage going against them. That one's down. It seems like it was down legally, though. The ball is at the back for George Horn to use. Now across into Ollie Smith's hands. Now pick and go from Josh Bayliss. Gets that little bit closer. Horn popping the ball up. Directional change there. Driven backwards for Max Williamson. Now Sutherland. Drop ball there, and is it knocked on? It's kicked into the hands of Fiji anyway. Now Caleb Muntz going for the booter behind. Fiji steaming after this, but they'll go back again for another penalty. If you take the earphones off, you can probably stream New Zealand Sky Sport with those satellite ears of yours. Says Martin. I assume you're talking to me, but my ears are quite small. I normally get a little bit of stick for my ears because they don't even they don't poke out. They're just kind of flat against my head. We have there, I ate margarine. It's plastic only butter for me. And also, we are going to bed. I'm 8. I'm not supposed to be awake at 7:30. And I've been lurking all day listening to your commentary. Thanks so much for keeping us poor people without options to watch this in the loop, says Mr. Monk. No worries at all. And we are back later on. We have got their game between South Africa and Wales coming just around the corner, as well as the other match after that, England versus Argentina, which for me actually could be the best game of the weekend. Probably the closest to, although this game also putting its kind of name in the hat for that role. Now ready to throw this one in. Pass it across Gregor Hiddleston. He's 1 metre short. It was all but over for Scotland's second try of the fixture, but now looks like they're going to use the forward. Johnny Gray was spanking himself. He was trying to get someone to get on his hip and no one was listening to him, so instead had to pass it off. Now Horn, away to the right-hand side. Fergusberg moves it on, remembering a man advantage here for Scotland. Suplex City coming from Joshua Tuisova on the Scottish centre. Now Horn across again to Bayliss. It's rush defence from Fiji and it is effective. It's turned into a rolling maul. They collapse it down Fiji. The ball doesn't come out and the Fijians defend again just out from their own goal line. We have got there. What's your take on Zimbabwe Sables? I think they have some decent players, especially the one, Edward. However, as a collective, yeah, they are still very new. It feels anyway in terms of their growth. They've got a couple handy players though. Tino Tenda Mavasiri, another one to keep an eye out on. We have got there. I don't see Haino anymore. Haino's still about though. I still chat to Haino regularly. I think last week you didn't see him because he went to the game, and I think the week prior he may have also gone to the game too. Make it with you and baby. I want you also great song, says Ian. Do you think the bot games will be determined by the narrowest of margins? No, I think that one's going to be pretty one-sided. I think that England versus Argentina is going to be the closest game of the weekend by quite a bit. And can England stop Argentina from doing the football rugby double tonight, says Nick? Maybe. I think they come in as favourites now, England, for their game up against the Argentines. And Tuisova is a freak. He's huge. Says Jameson. Yeah, he's a very strong individual. I think what's also impressive about Tuisova is normally when you see a guy built like that, they have a lot of injuries. But Tuisova, throughout his career, don't get me wrong, he's had a couple, but he's actually managed to stay fit for a long time, which is always, like I said, thoroughly impressive. I couldn't watch the AB's Island game because I was watching a movie at the cinemas today. What movie did you watch, Tower Slade? Do let me know. Okay, there, South Africa arrived and Wales arriving in 1 minute. Scottish playing bad or Fiji playing great? At the moment, sounds like Fiji are all over them. What is going on? Says Robert. I think so far Fiji have been committed to their defence. 5 metres out from their line, they have stopped Scotland multiple times just with pure physicality. But it's whether or not it can hold on. 6 minutes still remaining of the Fijian yellow card too. Now kick towards the touchline from Caleb Muntz. Again, a very nice clearing kick. How's your mum after her birthday? When your dad's birthday? Dad's birthday is November. But no, my mum's doing well. I can watch the AB's game due to being blind, says Jason. Now, I think Argentina and England is game of the weekend. I hope so, anyway, I should say. It would be nice if the last game of the weekend really closes out on an absolute high. Tuisova is like the dream rugby player build. Yeah, he's got power. He's got the pace to match it as well. Turnover ability, tackling machine. He can also offload too. I didn't get into cinemas. Haven't been to one since the 80s. Says Immigrant now going away to the left-hand side. Nice run from Fergus Burke. Quite a few carries from that number 10 jersey throughout this matchup, Burke. Currently 10 minutes remaining of the first half. Fiji, they are still in the lead by 3, but Scotland again on the verge of being able to get over that Fijian try line. George Horn, rush defence there from the Fijians, but it's another drop ball, this time Tom Jordan, I should say, and the penalty awarded to Fiji as well. Tell you what, they are surviving here, Fiji, extremely well. In front of their own goal line, inside of their 22, they just continuously find a way of stopping the Scottish attack. We have got there. The thing is, the English fans get cocky too quickly. They need to be humble like the Box fans. If anything, South Africans are too humble. Says Xander. Come on, Scotland, says Mr. Monk. Please give a shout out to my son. I see Martin. You normally say some weird stuff, so I don't know if that's actually a name, but shout out to Martin's son with the last name Pretorius, even though Martin's last name's Meyer. And we have got there, hi guys, was working, missed everything, all games were high quality. All games so far have been pretty one-sided. We're waiting for that close game, Gareth. This one might be it. Currently 3 points separating them. Way too humble, says Sock. And Scotland are way too non-clinical. Same problem against the Springboks last week, 8 entries. Only 1 try is beyond terrible. Yeah, well, in this one already, they've probably had 3 or 4 opportunities that they should have been able to finish off, or at least gotten closer to finishing. Rolling maul here for Fiji up to the halfway line. Masaki Donge sitting there at the back of the maul, and now the penalty advantage in favour of Fiji. I have to say, this is a much more clinical, much more almost, I don't even know what word I'd like to use, but a much more well thought out type of play from the Fijians today. Usalastino Ravo Tamanda running down the wing up to the 22. Ollie Smith wanted the steal, couldn't get it. Now Davida Ikanaviri. Now Lamani again, moving it across to Timo Moyanavanua. They've got numbers left, about 5 on 3 here. Armstrong Ravola puts it on the outside. Delayed pass from Ilia Tharakaivata to Piraka Suakula. 3 metres short of the line for the Fiji. It's Freddie Douglas told to get out of there. Trying his best not to end up giving away that penalty, but Lomani with the Fijians, they are once again right where they want to be. So a Silla 3-man tackle on him by the Scottish forwards. Now going away to the right-hand side. Nice take from Davida Ikanaviri. Now Lomani moves it on. Joshua Tuisova. Again, still that 10 metres out from the line. Lomani. Back to the left. Now Moyanavanua. Manages to bump off Rory Sutherland. It can go up the middle. Massive gap from Scotland and a huge try for Fiji. Right near the end of the half. And how are they not scoring? I have no idea, to be honest. They've been so close multiple times, but Fiji now have been able to go pretty much the full length of the field again to score the try. This time not in one phase, though. It was multiple moments. We have got there, you wouldn't think this is a side that conceded 73 points against England last week. Not in any way, shape or form. As the first half almost over, we are currently 34 minutes through this game. And the Fijians lead by 8 with a kick to come. 2 minutes still remaining of their yellow card too. The Odyssey, that Christopher Nolan movie, you can see it at 96%. That's a pretty high rating. Mark Davida Ikanaviri, the captain, he'll be more than happy with how his Fijian side have come out here. Scotland's B team so bad. Says Ian. The kick has gone over from Isaiah Armstrong. Ravola now making the score 17 points to 7 in favour of the Fijians. And with the Fiji lead, here's Immigrant there. They're just saying there about how this is what has been missing from the way that Fiji have been playing. They are still considered underdogs. Even though they lead by 10 points, they are $2.20 underdogs in this game. So it is expected for Scotland to start a comeback at some point. But for now, Fiji making this one very interesting. As long as we win the first half, says Sock there, and sounds like great stuff from Fiji. Well, it's just determination from this Fijian side. Deception from Fiji is good. They are so elusive. I love it. As BS, Scotland should be hanging their heads in shame. How can anyone have any confidence in putting a few dollars down? Well, I guess if you don't have confidence in putting the money on Scotland, don't put the money on Scotland. Like, not everything has to be based around the odd side of things. I know I mentioned how Fiji were the underdogs there, but that's not saying put a whole heap of money on the nice run from Duan van der Merwe. Almost a steal in the breakdown. Yes, it is from Ilia Whanakaivata again. We have there, can't believe Fiji England scoreline. Says YouTube user, and go Fiji. Scott's a bruise from last week. Make it count, says Gareth. Now charging forward. Looking for the chip in behind. Joshua Tuisova passes back to Lomani. Now is Armstrong Ravola. He's looking for the 50-22. He gets it over the head of the Scottish defender who has to now retreat. It's only 5 metres short of his line horn. Fires it back across inland. And booted into touch. And Scotland wins the match. Well, they were supposed to. But Fiji have survived the 10-minute period. And not only that, they've actually scored during that period too. Give us one try to end the half, Scotland, says Aryan. George Horn having to retreat back inside of its 22. You also have to remember for Murrayfield, massive in-goal area. So worst comes to worst, you get a bit too much on the kick and it becomes the goal line dropout. But we are the team that got smashed the previous week. At the moment, Fiji look hell-bent on revenge after being embarrassed by England last week, says DJ Shack. Nicely taken. And here I thought Scotland was becoming 2023 Ireland. Now a chip in behind attempted. Darcy Graham goes away to the left. Rush defence from Celestino Ravotamundo, although line break opportunity almost for Scotland's Ollie Smith. He was really good. It was based on that written scroll right. That historical scholar Homer made in ancient Greece. And 17-7 for Fiji. A bad to the box break the Scots mentally and physically, says Xander. It does seem to be the thing that people... Never mind. Fergus Burke ready to kick this one towards the touchline for the Scottish. This will be a good chance to get something going for Scotland before the end of the half. 15 of 15, but they were able to score earlier on in the game with Johnny Gray. That time for Fiji just not quite allowing for that ball to be placed. Is Finn Russell injured? No, I think he's just being rested for this matchup. Absolutely pathetic performance by Scotland, says Nkabi. Who do you think personally will win? I still think that Scotland, the surprise for me is the fact that they're down by 10 after Fiji have conceded 8 penalties in this matchup compared to the 2 of Scotland. You'd assume second half they're going to be a different side though. And that's going to be one of those more dangerous periods. We sit quietly, Hamish, says Sock. The Fiji can beat a lot of teams when their tails are up. Damn, 8-2 Fiji for the penalty count, says Jameson. Visits to opposition 22-8 have been from the Scottish. Wherever they give credit to Fiji playing well, not the game that happened in the past, says good. Yeah, exactly right. Fiji have played a game and a half here throughout the first 37 minutes of this game. They look determined. Now, rolling maul here for Scotland again. 2 minutes still left. They just have to keep that discipline, even though they've given away 8 penalties. Bullabro says a Sala there. Now, back across. Retreating at the moment, or at least it seems that way with the amount of metres lost for Scotland. They went from 22 metres out from Fiji's line to now back at the halfway line. Fiji are either very good or very bad. And no in between sees Immigrant now passed on the outside, trying to get it out to Tom Jordan. It will be knocked on, though, by Scotland. Now Fiji again are going to get themselves the scrum. Great defence by Fiji after that rolling maul. Yeah, they've defended the mauls very well. In fact, they've probably defended them perfectly throughout these games, Fiji. We see it there. It was moving across nicely to the right-hand side. Come on, Fiji, says Sock. If Fiji needs to win this now, my hopes are too high. If you let me down, I will fall too hard, says So Incredible. This should be a smooth running half as well. We've had, I believe it's 48 minutes since it was supposed to kick off. About 4 minutes late they were. We have good there. Fiji needs to win. And come on, Fiji, says Sock. And also, has Scotland rested too many key players? I think they might have a little bit. It seems like it's taken them a bit longer to be able to gel. Can you remember the first match you streamed? I think it was a Mitre 10 Cup game. I want to say maybe like Wellington Otago or something like that. Could be wrong. I can have a look at halftime and find out. But it was in 2020, a little while ago. Going away to the left-hand side, Lumani. Moving it on to Tavita Ikanaveri. Has got, oh no, I read that one. And in a massive half from Scotland, says Ayun. Seems like Fiji now with 20 seconds remaining in the half. They are just happy to take a few phases and then boot this ball into touch. The Scottish bench need to start second half, says Ian. Yeah, I think someone like a Sione Tuipilotu, they will try and get him out as quickly as possible. Xander Ferguson, Scott Cummings, Pierre Skurman. Although, to be fair, we've seen a bit of Sutherland throughout that first half. One more phase for Fiji. Should take them into the half-time break. Ball is out again. Time check. It is just now half time. And what was a brilliant half from the Fijians. They had a yellow card, but it didn't matter to Fiji. They were able to score themselves the 3 tries throughout the first 40. Bulavanaka, I'm in Murrayfield watching Fiji winning, says Israel there. And yeah, currently they are doing extremely well. I didn't see this coming. I don't think many did. Tell you what, the poll, we were talking about it at the start, how more people were giving Fiji a chance of being able to win this game. Maybe they were right in terms of the odds. And what are the Scottish doing here, or doing wrong here? Unfortunately, they've just been, they haven't had that clinical nature inside of the opposition 22. Good play by the Fijian boys, says Jan Lu there. That's amazing. Each stream has been great, says Kevin. And win, lose, or draw, that's a major improvement short term by Fiji. This time last week, they were down by 25, down to 14 versus 15, says DJ Shack. And now's the time to hit the Scottish money line, says Jameson. And does everyone like sausages? It is the first half finish, sir. It certainly is, yes. So first half has come to a close. 1 second, I will go like that. And like that. So the first live stream, if it loads, if they keep their intensity, they might win, and Scotland just don't seem to be involved in the game. Almost like they're watching themselves, says Mr. Monk. And come on, Fiji, you got this. And 32 actually forgot their own, or the try on the halftime was disallowed. I didn't pick either in the poll, just so I didn't hex anyone. Regardless of the end result, one has to be proud of Fiji for this performance. Yes, our first game was Bay of Plenty, Auckland. That was back in 2020 on October 2nd. That was the first stream that were done on the channel. We did the Bledisloe match back in 2020 on October the 11th. Yeah, a fair old few. I think I even did a full-length match on Rugby Challenge 4, by the looks of it. Are we over there? Scotland just don't seem to be in it. And some of the boys are great with sauce, though, says Jason. And also, I'm not sure I vote a draw. Or if I'm not sure I vote a draw, says Immigrant. And Scotland is a good side too. Did well against a sort of B/C side, Springboks, says Roy Hart. And well, they better keep on watching Fiji. I might win this one, says So Incredible. And so how many knock forwards did the Scots do? They didn't actually, handling errors wise, don't get me wrong, they had a fair few problems out there on the park. But I wouldn't say it was enough to stop them from being able to score. There were times where the rolling maul got held up about 3 or 4 times throughout that first half. Fiji just seemed, they seemed better out there on the field in terms of the concentration, in terms of the tempo, but also they've given away 8 penalties. So Fiji have a high chance of having someone go to the bin in the second half. Now, I'm not sure whether or not it will be early on or a bit later, but I'd be very surprised if they go this whole half without someone ending up in the bin. And that is where, that Scottish little momentum shift might be all they need. DJ Ham says So Incredible, and be back after halftime ends, lads, and hoping to see the Scots on top, says Aryan. That reminds me, I normally do a halftime timer, don't I? Which I have not got at the moment. There we go. We have there 53% voted for Fiji to win. Most people understand the Scots are broken by the box. I'm sure that was it. We have there Fiji as rule of cool. Scotland not so much. And is a lettuce salad a worthy substitute for ribeye steak? Depends on what you're after. If you're looking for moisture, the salad's a good way to go, depending on how well you cook your steak. But the next game for these two sides, at least in this competition, will be taking place in November. This is the next round. So Fiji will be going head-to-head with the French. That'll be a tough old game taking place there. And then alongside that, there is also Scotland going head-to-head with New Zealand at Murrayfield, which is going to be a must-watch game. As you can see, the games that are taking place up north, they've got a 2.5-hour gap between the first match and the next. Whereas for these Southern Hemisphere ones that we've been seeing, there's actually been a 3-hour gap between the contests. But 4 games back-to-back on that Sunday. I'll be honest, it's going to be a little bit weird not having a 7 p.m. or a 9 p.m. game on that first week. I think the second week and the third week might actually be similar too. We have, excuse my ignorance, Hamish, but one of these games, all these games part of a tournament, instead of doing tours? A little bit, yeah. So it is the Nations Championship, as they've called it. It's separated into two groupings, the Northern Hemisphere and the Southern Hemisphere, which involves Japan alongside Fiji and the Rugby Championship sides. You then have 6 matches against every single team inside of the other side of the draw. And then the number one side from each, the North and the South, go head-to-head in a final, 2 versus 2, 3 versus 3, and so on. Which will Rugby had a special day in the year where a combined Southern Hemisphere team and combined Northern Hemisphere team that happens like once a year. Says Young Dagger. And as the first half finish, it certainly is. And Fiji are leading in this contest currently 7 points to 7. And we do the on-field refs go half-time. TMO box. TMO given them their performance rating, I'm guessing. They do go off the field as well. And they'll have like a changing area and an area where they can reassess after the first half. Scotland already had a numerical advantage for 10 minutes. They conceded a try against a 14-player Fiji. How old is that Island number 10? Good kicker too. So that would be Sam Prendergast. I think he's like 24, 25 maybe actually for Prendergast. He is, 23, a little bit younger. And also, I meant that played a match against each other once a year, says Young Dagger. It would be awesome to see. It's just a shame that they would never do it because of I guess maybe this Nations Championship is setting it up. We're going to get to see Club World Cup, though, where we do get to see sides from the North and the South go head-to-head in a tournament format. Did we ever get the best Super Rugby team versus the European champions? Yes. It did happen 2 or 3 years ago. It was Crusaders versus Munster. And unfortunately, they did it during the Six Nations, which meant that Munster didn't have their best team. It was also the year that the Crusaders lost a whole heap of players, so they didn't have their best team. It was on at the same time as a Six Nations fixture, so no one actually watched it. And then they went, oh, well, looks like no one cares, so we won't do it again. But what they really did was hide it so that no one would watch it so that they didn't have to then keep on doing it. But now we've got a Club World Cup in about 2028 to kind of bring that back. Do you watch Curry Cup, Hamish? I sometimes do. I know that Bulland are going to be playing up against the Bulls tomorrow. I might end up covering that one on the channel. How many minutes left till the second half? At the moment, we have still got another, I would say, 7 or so minutes before the second half gets underway. And anyone know how many yellow cards have been issued in the series so far? If so, a particular game or a particular ref, says Diane. I don't think it's only been one ref given them out, but there's been a fair few. We saw a red card to Riccioni in the Italian game for not even being a part of the team, but from having a bit of a push and a shove with a Mato Cero on the sideline. We have got there, go Team Fiji, you can do it. Show them even a small nation can defeat bigger continent. Says Johnny there, and also Sky keeps lagging for me. See, my Sky Sport now has been pretty smooth. As a whole, I've noticed. And guys, I want to bet whom win this match. Says Kanwa Wabra. You should not bet on rugby because it's just not worth it. It's Curry Cup, a competition in India. Says Jason, not quite. And when does the Pacific Cup start? I don't actually know if they've got one this year. To be honest, or at least I haven't seen it advertised anyway for the Pacific Nations Cup because the Japanese are playing up against Australia in 3 weeks' time. 1 second. Pacific Nations Cup 2026. We got one? Oh no, we might do. The semi-finals are going to be on the 12th of September. But they've already got I don't know what this is. They've got like predictions of who's actually going to be in it. The date's the 12th to the 19th of September. Seems to be where it's going to be taking place. And it's like a mini format, I believe, this year. Maybe. And Fiji, and not even on a continent, says Sock and Scotland should bounce back here. And is there a glitch on the scorecard? There isn't. Fiji have managed to get themselves a 10-point lead. And this tournament has been fantastic, plus the Nations Cup with the rising teams like Chile. Love watching those guys. I think Lakema Tangitangivalu could probably count himself lucky that his yellow didn't get sent off for off-field review. So Italian lock Niccolo Canoni show a red card and suspended 4 games. Says DJ Shaq. Yeah, although it wasn't quite the same thing. Tangitangivalu through the middle of the breakdown. Unfortunately for Canoni, we saw him from a grounded position do an upwards headbutt towards Cam Roygaard. We have got their Scotland chances to win, says Ken Wabara. Well, now that I know that you're going to bet on it, I'm not going to tell you. But no, gamble responsibly. And if you don't know anything about rugby, it's best not to bet in anything for rugby. In fact, I can tell you a fun story, but it's not fun for the guy. Last week, we had a fella come on the channel, like in terms of in the chat, and he was saying that he put $3,000 on New Zealand and Italy's game to have a certain amount of points underneath. So he had like under 64 points or something like that. And he said it was his life savings, never watched rugby in his life. And then they ended up having 1 point more than whatever his bet was. So he probably, unfortunately, is now homeless because he didn't end up actually winning. My birthday day is on 28th of September. Be turning many years old. Says, so incredible. Hamish, where's the tie? Are we not staying true to the swag anymore? Good day, fella. Says, it's Julian. No, the tie's been gone for a long time. Mainly because it just, I don't know, seems easier to not have it. Means that I don't choke myself for 12 hours straight. So that's quite nice. But yeah, still got the shirt on. It's just no tie to go with it. The World Cup 2030 is going to be in the US because I would hate to see water breaks and stuff like that as they did this World Cup, says Young Dagger. The second half of this one, I would say, is still another about 4 minutes away from starting up. Where's George? He's still farming. He's still chilling. But I don't even know when the last time was he was on the channel. Probably Bunnings NBC last year, maybe. And he left, oh no, it might have actually been the Pacific Championship because he was here for half the game between New Zealand and Samoa, I think it was. And then he left to go home and he pretty much showed everyone chicken wings and said, I'm leaving to cook these. So then that was the last time we've seen him. Chances on the comeback, Scotland brother. Says Kanwa. I've messed up your name every time. I'll call you Kanwa. There's a chance, but there's also a chance that they don't. 50-50. And no thanks, Ruth. I'm saving my like for a rainy day, says Jason. But now, let's match up. I think we've got a lot of eventfulness that's going to be taking place in the second half. This one is far from done in the best possible way, though. I think that there are still maybe 1 or 2 late turns. Scotland, they will be wanting to get straight back into the game as quickly as physically possible. So you want to go like that and like that as well. I want to bet now. Okay, Scotland, says Kanwa. Question on the combined hemisphere teams. Who would select as the coach for each side? Up the south, says Daniel. Oh, sorry, that was Danielle. Yeah, Fiji win this game. The South are 3-1 up with still 2 matches to go. And one of those 2 matches is South Africa. They are going head-to-head with the Welsh in that one. Fiji, make sure you score again in the second half, says Joseph. And on the combined hemisphere teams, who would you select as coach for each side? Depends on who's available, because I think there'd be a lot of international coaches who turn down that offer. I put everything on Scotland to win by 7-13, says Jason. That's second half. And the Paul Welsh. Yeah. I mean, we're saying Paul Welsh now, but I think we're going to be saying that as well throughout that contest. The 2 sides now back out on the field. I'm trying to decide, is 47 minutes enough time to complete a half of rugby? It kind of is, but at the same time, it's kind of not. So I think what I'm going to do is put the South Africa versus Wales game just the 1 more delay, 5 minutes past 3. It's enough start. It's just about to. The 2 sides have made their way onto the field. We can always start earlier as well if we need to. And that All Blacks game had a lot of star power actors watching. I must be shooting a movie in Auckland, says Mr. Billy. Maybe. I think it was also just the fact that it was the Eden Park Test match that a lot of them were over. I know that they showed Jason Momoa like 57 times throughout the game. Whether their Wales might win, who knows? I do. Unfortunately, I think they're just going to have a little bit too much to do in that game, the Welsh. Wales might win, who knows, says Ruth. And are there as well. But now the Blues. Sorry, not the Blues, but the Scottish side. We're in the blue for this matchup. They need something big early here in the half. We did see a little bit of an extended period at the start of the game where neither side were able to score. Who's Captain Peter Toy is in charge of the side again. But Murrayfield, it's pretty full The last thing that this Scottish side want to do in front of this home crowd is to not put on a great second half. I wouldn't put my vodka on it though, says Ruth. I still can't believe Hamish goes on the whole night. I love my sleep. I wouldn't survive, says So Incredible. Now, kicked off for Scotland. Yeah, we're about halfway through the night at this. Well, yeah, we're about 50% through all of the streams for today. We've got another 7 hours or so before the last match ends. But we're still going strong just at this point in time. All right, huge half incoming for the Scots. I put the mortgage on them, scoring over 19.5 points, says Jameson. Now roll back. Frank Lomani. Currently 15 on 15, but with the amount of penalties that we saw Fiji concede in the first half, there is half a chance that they could find themselves going to the bin again here in the second 40. Tom Jordan offload to George Horn. Not a lot of space to work with on the short side. Look for the offload knocked on by the Scots, although that ball is in touch. So I think they're going to rule this as Scotland's ball. We have got their Wales will win. All our hearts are for their brave efforts. It's going to be a tough game. Hopefully it stays a little bit close, though, just for a bit of time. Have a bit of back and forth. That stream is going to be starting in around 50 minutes' time. Ladies and gentlemen, bit of an injury here for Iliafana Kaivata. Looks like he's just dealing with a bit of something to do with his knee. He will be a part of the scrum, so of course they cannot continue until he's all right. We have their Wales will win over our hearts. And Ruth sounds about right for South Africa by 35. Darcy Graham with the bright green headgear on. This looks like the lower leg of Iliafana Kaivata. Just having a bit of a stoppage here to start off the second half. That is one of the many reasons why we have delayed it by 5 minutes for that next stream. But we will still have 35 minutes of build-up before the Springboks get underway against the Welsh. Frank Lomani, he's just having a bit of passing here with one of the Scottish players. I think it was him and maybe Fergus Burke having a bit of back and forth pass. Just waiting for this one to get back underway. Okay, they're just talking about the fact that Fiji are starting to get very good at reading whereabouts they're trying to go. Who's injured? It was Iliafana Kaivata, but he is all right now and is going to be good to go. And we have got there, I think New Zealand will deflate Springboks' ego. South Africa has no ego, just a die-hard attitude. Nothing to lose spirit. There is nothing to break or deflate there. This is So Incredible. I'm wondering what our debutant fly half is capable of. Well, Vusi Moyo from the under-20s was phenomenal. He had a lot of composure in that competition where the under-20 box came the world champs. Quick tap taken by the Scottish here after the free kick was awarded in their favour. George Horn back across to the left-hand side. Fiji 5, Georgia 0, New Zealand 5, England 7 in the under-20s games. Says Hori. Yeah, that Kiwi versus England game should be a really good back and forth, I think. George Horn again going to be going for the box kick downfield. Darcy Graham chasing after this one. Slaps it back onto the side of the Scots. And now Gregor Hiddleston. Scotland into the 22 at a very crucial time, but they need to turn it into points. They've already had more than 5 visits to the Fiji in 22. They've only scored once. They're almost closer to 10 visits, in fact. Now George Horn, way to the right-hand side, finds the hands of Gregor Brown. Now Horn, back across again, Hiddleston. And your phases here for Scotland up to 6 now. Now it's casual by the Fijians. Says Liza now back across Fergus Burke. Moves it on to the captain, Stafford and McDowell. They've decided against bringing Sione Tuipulotu on as of yet. So obviously a mistake by Fiji on the ground. And it's just going to be the penalty here. Yep, just the penalty. Another brain fart from Fiji. Says So Incredible. That one's gone into touch. Like I said, just not a smart error from the Fijians. It's actually quite bad, and it was here. Oh, tell you what, it was the Kima Tangifalu. He's probably very lucky not to get a second yellow here for what he's just done in that breakdown. But it is going to be play on and another penalty going against the Fijians. Wales will put their bats in themselves. Their knees are already shaking in the sheds. I don't know. Are they going out there to die, says Sook. And quick side note, I'm getting ads in your video, so I'm hoping you get paid for those. Says Jameson, the channel is monetized. It will probably end up paying for the streaming software this month, hopefully. Although I might still have to pay for some of it myself too. George Horn now firing this one back to the right-hand side. Sniping run. Decided against the pass in the end, but again, Fiji turn it into a rolling maul for the third time today. It seems like that ball's going to be trapped there, and Fiji get another scrum. Beautifully done by this big physical forward pack of the Flying Fijians. The Fiji 4 points that missed conversions could be very, very devastating, says Matthew. And Fiji can do it. They just need to stay away from yellow, says Michael, and Fiji get paid little. I guess they feel they only need to pay for 40 minutes to justify their pay. And hello, my friend, says Yako, and defence, says Liza. So that is now, like I said, about the third or fourth time that Fiji have been able to turn it into a rolling maul and just stop any chance of the ball getting to ground. And they say they wear numbers on their backs, so the corner can identify, the coroner can identify the body, says Gareth. Another 22 entry with nothing to show to it. Yep. And it's happening far too often for Scotland in this game. They are still down by the 10-point margin. Fiji playing a very good game of rugby here. They're still considered as the underdogs, though. Now, moving it forward here for Fiji. Open up the game, Fiji, says Dakuna there. Now, Lomani kicks that one down and into touch. I reckon Fijians have targeted this match above England. I actually think so. And I know that it's easy to say now that they're leading by 10, but it just seems like determination-wise, they're showing a whole heap of things we didn't see in their game against England. Like, they never tried to hold up a rolling maul in the same fashion as they're doing here. And 22 entry, says Jason. And Springboks versus Wales and Durban, 17 points to 40, says Yako. Nicely claimed it. Line out time from Scotland. George Horn drops it, but it does go backwards, is the ruling. 45 minutes through, though, in this contest. Scotland down by the 10 with a lot of work to do at Murrayfield to come back and get the victory. But now the backline movement, passed out wide, nicely taken on the wing by Josh Bayliss, gets through one, almost through another, risky offload though, and Fiji get the ball straight back. It seems like Scotland are trying to force it a little bit too hard at the moment. Rush defence from Scotland backfires, offload from Fiji out the backline, Ilya. Now, a cross kick, that's not a good one, though, from Fiji, giving Scotland the ball back for a chance of a 50-22, but instead Jordan is going to run this one straight as Jeta Wainaniolo. Now, Wainaniolo again, ripping Graham down, shuffling, stepping from the Scottish. I love it when Fiji run with the ball, says so incredible, and New Zealand would put 50 at least on the Scottish side. Well, we're going to find out in about 4 months' time when they take them on at Murrayfield. Last year when they went head-to-head, New Zealand getting the narrow victory. Being told to use it here again. In fact, that was the closest Scotland have ever been to beating the All Blacks just last year. I'll be a joke if Wales wins, says Sartana. Now back across. Scotland still with ball in hand. Stafford McDowell tackled by Lomani. Fiji almost able to turn over again. Wish I could see this game to see how they're going 20 straight minutes without scoring, says Aryan. But the crazy thing is they've had many visits to the opposition 22. There is no denying how good at times Scotland have been at making those meters. They just can't finish anything. Now back across to the right again. Fergus Burke, delayed pass, makes another mistake, and Fiji will now get the scrum because of it. Scrum feed for Fiji. Unfortunate but rigged, says Aryan. Okay, Scotland replacements. We see a Pierce Scoorman. We see Xander Fagerson. We see also that's Liam McConnell. And I think that's all the changes for now. But they have decided that this is the time to be able to empty the bench. Congrats, Hamish, that All Blacks played well, says Sartana. Now, it's very hard watching the stream due to being both deaf and blind, says Jason. I want Fiji to score one, then toy with the Scots till the end of the game. And this game has to put things into perspective for South Africa. As a reminder that no one is invincible, says Liza. A different coach, different team, says Immigrant there. Never thought I'd have to say that Scotland need to work on their attack. Scotland looking down on Fiji now. They will see why they are afraid of the dark. Now they will know the coming of the night. The power of Carver, the spirit of the GA. says Sock. But now scrum feed again for the Fijians. And to be fair, they're one try away from being able to get themselves a bonus point now for the Fijians. That would be massive for the Nations Championship as a whole, but boost them up quite nicely. Franklin Money looking at the short side, gives it off to Isaiah Armstrong Ravula. Now on the halfway line currently, drop ball from Bayliss. And it's going to be another scrum now for the Fijians. Just so many knock-ons. Oh no, in fact, this time it might actually be a scrum feed for the Scots. Everyone making it seem as if the Springboks played this exact Scottish side. Says Henk Jacobs. And there. Yeah, looking for the offload. And then the knock-on from Barimi Bakatawa. Dang, Fiji are doing well. See, 10 points, it's a good margin, right? Don't get me wrong. But you also get the feeling like one try or even a three-pointer for Scotland at this stage could be a big difference maker. Fiji are in control, but they have to keep it that way. Scotland can score quick-fire tries back to back to back, which is what they'll be looking for here. Back across to the left-hand side. Nicely running it for Joshua Tui. So locked over the ball. And it's another turnover penalty for the Fijians. The Scots will come back, says Jan. Although Fiji are making it extremely difficult for them. Stafford McDowell, the man who got isolated in the breakdown. Magnus Bradbury, in fact, is the man who has made his way onto the field rather than Liam McConnell. If Fiji need to convert their chances, then they will win. I think the All Blacks can beat the Box, says Sartana, and how is South Africa overrated? Using more 40 different players and they keep on winning. Give credit where it's due, says Henk Jacobs. And I don't hear anything from Scotland's backline attack. Says they're really struggling to even just put together 3 passes at the moment. It looks like another change. That is going to be Johnny Gray making his way off. And that'll be Scott Cummings making his way on. I don't think we'll be too far off the Tui Pelotu change either here. But these men who have made their way onto the field now as the replacements. Oh, okay. Lakema Tangivalu has also come off the field. That is for Kitioni Salawa. That's not a bad choice from the Fijians. The last thing you want is for Tangivalu to end up with a red card. And the Box don't keep on winning. They lose minimum 2 games a year. And Joshua should be man of the match, even if they lose, says Liza. He's been phenomenal in this game. Joshua Tuisova involved in everything throughout this contest. And the All Blacks can beat the Box. But remember, we have to play each other 4 times in a row, I think. You are correct, yes. So 4 matches. It's going to be a great series. We are going to be covering it all on the channel. So anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Line out here for Taveta Ikanaveri. Nicely taken, but the knock on at the back for Kitione Salawa. His first touch of the day, and it becomes a penalty for accidental offside. Okay, Matthew Carley was just getting asked about a certain thing that happened in the line-out. Fergus Burke does boot that one into touch as well. No team can win. I can keep on winning forever, says Satana, and so many knock-ons in succession. Yeah, a lot of mistakes. What's going on here, bro? Says Jason. Well, the Fijians have come out firing. The Scottish have had so many chances that they haven't been able to turn it into much, and they've just lost the ball again here, Scotland. And as Scotland and South African, I can't help thinking, come on, Fiji, says Robert. A bit of a counter-ruck there from the Scottish. Now 43 metres out. Moving across to the left-hand side for Jamie Dobie. This is a great tournament for Fiji. More regular matches against the top teams. And to help them be real contenders at the World Cup, says Nick. You see, last year we only got to see them play, was it 5 games against the top sides, as well as the Pacific Nations Cup. Great work in the breakdown. No, never mind. The hands were down against the Fijian. It was Kitione Salawa again, so not having a great start to his matchup now. That looked like it was forward from Scotland, although play on is the call. Now away to the right. Jamie Dobie passes it on to Scott Cummings. Only the All Blacks have gone the whole season undefeated. And the Pro era in 2016. There's everyone right there. Now still the advantage for the Scottish. Now back left. Now McDowell pops it up to Burke. Interception for Fiji, but they'll go back for the initial penalty. Hamish, the new coach of New Zealand, says Mochadena come of Fiji 2013. Does this count as a Fiji away win, by the way? Like at Murrayfield? Or does this, because of the fact that it's a Fiji home game, do they somehow try and say that it's actually not counted as a away victory? I'd be quite curious to see what it actually is ruled as here. Why aren't kicking? They aren't moving forward. Says Liza. I think they're just trying to get some phases going. It's all well and good kicking the ball straight back to the Fijians, but they will punish you if you get it wrong. Ilya Thunakaivata, 16 tackles made in this game. Peter Soakula, 14. Tavera Ikaraveri, 14. Frank Lomani, 12. Aroni Maui, 11. They've been really working out there on the field, but the game is not done. And the late tail of this game has not quite happened yet, I don't think. So I'll be honest, I think there's a high chance Scotland score in the next 2 or 3 minutes. Then maybe Fiji could end up with a man in the bin too, with the amount of penalties conceded. Go Fiji, awesome to see the underdogs doing well, 15 aside. Now taken by Scotland. Now Dobie, short ball to Stafford. McDowell look close to forward, but 5 metres out from the line now for the Scots. Pierre Sturman, he goes over and scores the try. Impact off the bench for the Scots, and now this game gets that little bit closer. Last game was against Ireland. Cole scored in the last second to win, says Sock. And there goes the Scott Bock try. Says Jan, and also I'm going to lose my mortgage, aren't I? Says Jameson. Although you did need Scotland to score, right? And Pierre Sturman just goes over and through to be able to score it between the posts. That is the type of performance that the coach would have wanted. Having these guys make their way off the bench who did start last week to go on and get it closer. And it's a straightforward kick as well, and all of a sudden this game with 26 minutes remaining is only separated by 3 points. Someone needs to go upstairs and find something to disallow this try. It's so incredible. Never mind, says Jameson. It reminds me of when Tonga beat France. Up here, Skurman, 52 caps, 9 tries. And now they can bring on Sione Tuipulotu. Why couldn't Fiji play the match in either New Zealand or Australia? Doesn't make sense playing it in the Northern Hemisphere, says George. Yeah, it is pretty confusing, because I'm sure there would have been a location. I mean, we saw Japan versus Ireland take place in Newcastle in Australia. So, yeah, I don't know why they couldn't play them in Aussie instead. Now, not back. It is play on the call. What time's the under-20 final? It is kicking off in 2 hours' time, so it does overlap with South Africa versus Wales, unfortunately. Oh, well, the Scots are coming back. Have to wait now. Now, rolling it back again. Scotland from inside of the 22, Jamie Dobie. Again, gets that one into touch. Fiji are making, or playing unbelievable. Playing quite the shock, says Bender. Yeah. I believe pounds make better income than New Zealand and Aussie dollars. That is true. And then I thought Scotland was going to win by now. Damn, Fiji is really holding on, says More Plunder. Now, Tavera Ikanaveri. Another throw in. On the way to the left-hand side for the Flying Fijians. The big bump off from Tui Sovo, who's definitely in the man of the match candidates. They trapped the Scottish player in, Matthew Carley says, so it will not be the penalty advantage to Fiji. Caleb Muntz tackled 40 metres out from Scotland's line. Now Lomani again goes across. No look pass from Peter Soakula. And Scotland now on the counter-attack. Fergus Burke fires it out wide. Now running down the wing. Dobie offloads in to Fergus Burke. Ravai almost got him a little bit too high there. Dobie. This already seems like the tempo has completely changed since Dobie made his way on. Beautiful backline here from the Scottish. Moving away to the right-hand side. Out wide into the hands of Ollie Smith. He's smashed by Varumi Vakatawa. Dobie back to the left, big attacking run forward from the captain McDowell. Those are the most dangerous, those with nothing to lose. Now big shot from Tui Sova, short side there, Dobie. No, in fact, it's going to be Tom Jordan crawling his way towards the Fijian defence. You can hear the crowd chanting Scotland as well in the Murrayfield stands. And the crowd now know that their side is a very good shot of getting something going. It also looks like the injury for Virumi Pakatawa in the back play. So currently Fiji are playing with 14. Quick hands from Scotland, moving it out wide. Here comes Duhan van der Merwe, 3 metres short, and just about manages to bulldoze his way over. Pick and go from Scotland. Pierre Sturman, he wants the double, but he'll be one out. Duhan van der Merwe looks like he's got an injury as well. Scotland got close to the grounding for Bayliss, but I think they want to check it to make sure that the grounding, okay, he says no to the referee, so I don't even think they're going to check this one. Some nice honesty there from Bayliss. It's going to be the goal line dropout for the knock-on in goal. I love me a Sunday all-nighter, says Jan there too. Hamish, do you have a feeling that Scotland will have some miracle? I don't think Scotland winning from here is a miracle at all. I think that they are the side that were favourites heading into this matchup, and now they've decided to start playing in the second 40. And that's probably now, I know that it sounds really bad to say, but I would say it would be more of a miracle for Fiji to win from here than it is for Scotland to win. Because Fiji have to hold out at Murrayfield for 23 minutes up against a fired-up Scots side who have now made their changes, are bringing Tui Pelotu, are bringing Skurman, Cummings, Xander Fagerson, Dobie all out onto the field. TMO was just making sure that the decision was correct. Scotland making a comeback, says Eugene. And Ireland didn't want to play in Japan, so they played in Aussie since when do you get to pick and choose? Says Immigrant there. And we have there Scotland making a comeback, and come on Fiji, keep them out, says Nick there. And all nations need cash injection, more than crowd support these days with World Cup upon us. And come on Fiji, says DM40. 120 All Blacks playing around, they need to lock in. Kicked off from the goal line dropout though, now charging back at the Fijian opposition there for Bayliss, and again hit hard. This time from Levi Natave. Now skip past Evan McDowell out to Duhan van der Merwe. Moves into the 22 of the Fijians. Dobie across to Xander Fagerson. Murrayfield, I thought Scotland wasn't Fiji. Are we not be for real? Says War Plunder. No, this one is at Murrayfield. It is the home field advantage for Scotland, even though it's regarded as home field for Fiji. There's a double knock-on. First of all from the Fijians, then from Scotland. So it will be a scrum feed Scotland 15 metres from the try line. Agreed, Hamish, says Robin Wood. And the Scots coming back, says Immigrant there. The chat as well. Fiji to win this game. They are now $3.70 underdogs. So, yeah, it would be considered as a big upset if they were to go on and complete the rest of this game in the lead. But, yeah, it's going to be tricky. And, yeah. 25 missed tackles from the Fijians, 8 missed tackles from Scotland. They've only had to make 63 throughout this game. Need to stop betting on games. Are way too stressful, says Slow GT. I thought the biggest comeback was Lazarus. And it's only 3 points difference, no miracle needed, says Immigrant there. Fiji should have scored long ago while the Scots were still asleep. Now someone reminded them the game is still on. A ball put in by Dobie. The scrum of Scotland holding strong. Front rows collapsing. Carly says neither get the advantage. Esioni Tui Pelotu with the short pop ball to the man next to him in the centres. Now out to Tom Jordan. Met by a strong tackle of Jita Waininolo. Dobie back across to the left-hand side again. Scotland getting closer. 7 metres from the try line. Dobie pops it up to Xander Fagerson. The 2 replacement props have made all the difference at the moment for Scotland, as well as the replacement half. Dobie again moving it away to the left-hand side. Sione Tui Pelotu. Short ball. Offload there. Burt gets his legs picked up and dumped down. Now Dobie across to Bayliss again. Nice step from the Scottish 6 as he's 3 metres short. George Horn off the field already. They brought Dobie on, and the speed that we're seeing in these breakdowns has been phenomenal. And Sione Tui Pelotu almost with a golden finish, but he's 1 metre short. Dobie got that one down by the looks of it. Okay, time is off. They're going to check this one. That looked like he may have slammed that ball over the turf though, Jamie Dobie. Which team was it that was attacking the most? So Fiji had a lot of attacking opportunities, but you'd probably argue Scotland had a lot more. They just weren't able to turn it into points. They're checking for the grounding here for Dobie. Oh, I think he's got that one down. 1 second, we'll go like that. I like that as well. They're just showing the replay. That's rubbish playing Scotland in their home turf, and it's considered a Fiji home game, says Immigrant. The Fijians may have just conceded again here. They're looking for the clear evidence of a grounding. Now, the on-field decision, I believe, was ruled as no try, which means they need something clear and conclusive to be able to rule this as the try. I think they've almost found it, but at the same time, there is a hand under the ball. Love you, bro. Says Aaron there. Okay, they're asking for the last angle now. They're trying to overturn the on-field. No clear grounding. Hands were under the ball. Says Mike there. And Fiji don't fall now. Otherwise, it's game over for them. Says it's Nino. Okay, they are just waiting for this next decision. It looks like there's going to be a change here as well for Timo Mayanavanu'a. And he has no try, says Sock. Okay, they've said they can confirm that there is the ball touching the line. So the on-field decision, it's going to be overturned. On-field now is the try. And Scotland take the lead now with 20 minutes remaining. And HIA for Tangi Valu, yeah, I believe. Oh, no, he already went off earlier on, but Ilia Whanakaivata. But I think it was maybe Timo Mayanavanu'a. Wait up, dude. But yeah, now 21 points to 17. And I only watch the ABs live. All the rest, I just watch these pods. And Fiji 12 to Georgia's 0. New Zealand 10 to Fiji 7. And Buller, Scotland Buller says Fiji there too. But now Fiji have a role to play. They have to create another comeback opportunity. But Sione Tuipulotu, Pierre Skurman, Xander Fagerson, Jamie Dobie, the most recent try scorer as well, they have changed this game for the Scots. Masaki Vothi will make his way onto the field for Timo Mayanavanu'a after he was a little bit slow and ginger after that last play. Chat full of angry Englishmen, says Aaron there. And we do also see there the head injury reversal. So Lakema Tangivalu will make his way on for Salawa, who's gone off for the HIA, now charging forward there for Scotland once more. George Horn going away to the left-hand side. I only watch, I see your cool shirt mainly, says Jason. I'll wait to the back line of the left-hand side, but Scotland, great hands from Bayliss, although they've ruled it as forward. Wherever they're Fiji running out of cover, says Immigrant. Yeah, I think they've still got a little bit of gas left in the tank. Fiji play the hardest defence of your life and hold possession as much as you can, then drop goal in the last 30 seconds, says Young Dagger. And yeah, England has 3 games on today. I hope they lose all 3, says Horry. That's nice for the English. Wait, so 3 games. They've got the, they've got the Football World Cup the third bronze final on as well, don't they? And then the under-20s and also Argentina. Currently still 18 minutes. And we have got, Fiji drank all the cover before running on, says Sock. Looks like we're not too far away from seeing another change made here for the Scottish. Come on, Fiji, says Tom Butler. Frank Lamani. Ball goes in again. Told to use it once more. Away to the left-hand side. I think we might have to change the starting time of that Scotland versus Wales one again slightly. Only by 5 extra minutes, but we can always, like I said, start early if needed. But I will just quickly change that to 3:10, seeing as there's 25 minutes till that one starts. And there is also 17 minutes remaining of this. Are you Aussie? No. No, I'm not. Apparently, when I get overtired, I sound Australian, though. We have you there just joined again on the scoreboard going opposite, says YouTube user. If England lose, all that's going to be some sort of bad luck, says Young. Fiji now on the halfway line. Lomani. Again, looking towards that box kick option. They haven't got the backup of Simeone Kuravoli. Nicely taken by Jordan. Decides against calling the mark. And Horn is actually still out there as well by the looks of it. I assume they're going with the two-man halfback situation. Big shot on Stafford McDowell by Natave. Now Horn moves left to Xander Fagerson. We over there, where are you from, big man? I am from New Zealand. So it's currently 2:45 a.m. And we've still got another probably about 5.5 hours of commentary to go for the day. Bulla Fiji Bulla says good old there. Or Gerard, I should say, sorry. And aren't they playing India and cricket too? They might be, actually. Oh, George Horn runs straight into his teammate. And we have the Amish from Uzbekistan. Says Sok. Fiji lost their drive. Well, I think Scotland just got fired up at half-time. They realised that they weren't doing their best rugby throughout that first 40, and whatever Gregor Townsend said to them must have worked a little bit. It's currently in the second half. They have scored 2 tries, and Fiji are yet to score 1. Now going up for the ball, nicely taken by Celestino Ravotamunda. You're covering South Africa Wales. We certainly are. That one's going to have a 30-minute build-up on the Channel 2. Now backline movement, Taveta Ikanaveri does decide to run it straight at Sione Tuipulotu. Now Lumani again, out to Joshua Tuisova, just bumps off Stafford McDowell with some pure physicality again. And Horn is having a howler, says Calmac. Eskelman does make a noticeable difference whenever he comes on, says so incredible. And yeah, he has been one of a few off of that bench who have just changed this game around. Now Caleb Muntz shifting it right. 45 out from the Scottish line. Now again, Lamani. On left-hand side once more. Taveta Ikanaveri. It's a pass on the outside. Not a lot of space to be able to work with for Virimi Pakatawa. And he gets driven over the sideline. Now going to the left-hand side. Almost with the quick throw. Scotland has 25% South Africans in the team. Says DM Furry. We have got there. Scotland realised it was cats under their kilts after all, says Jason. And also we've got there a spicy game. Yeah, very competitive between these two sides. Seb Stephen makes his way onto the field. That is for Gregor Hiddleston. Bomb squad tendencies are in his DNA, I guess. Says so incredible. And England 14, New Zealand's 10. Okay, so that's a back and forth game because they were 7-5, weren't they? And then 10-7, and then now 14-10. Hamish, was that your first sneeze of the day? I think it was the second one. I think I had one about 7 hours ago. Now line out. Nicely contested in the air, but it is claimed by McConnell and the Scottish. Now back line movement. Sione Tuipulotu pops it up to McDowell. A lot of power in the middle of the field, but a good powerful counter ruck from the Fijians as they get themselves the advantage. Now Lakema Tangi Valu back out there on the field due to Kitione Salawa going off for the HIA, although I think he was still out there before. Now passed on from Baremi Pakatawa to Celestino Ravotamunda. Gets round 2, almost broke through another, gets the off foot away to Masaki Votevofi. Up to the 22-metre line now for Ilia Tanakai Vata, with the ball stolen by Scotland illegally. Says the ref. No, in fact, he says it was legal, but they'll go back for the initial advantage now. I'll sound serious, says Albert. And also, Fiji can get another try to get the 4th try bonus point, and maybe within 7 points bonus point. Yeah, I think that both sides can definitely still have a chance of getting that 7-point margin in terms of losing by less than 7. And both sides really do have the chance of getting the winning bonus point or the 4-try bonus point from this game too. Still 13 minutes remaining on the clock between these two sides. But Ilia Tanakai Vata had a busy day out there. So as many of these Fijian 15s. Right, Fiji kick to the corner. They have decided that rather than looking towards a 3-pointer to be down by 1, they want to go for the full 7. We have got there, come on, Bulla boys, says Mr. Billy. And Fiji got a try in him. Yeah, once again, one more would give them that bonus point. Although it wouldn't necessarily give them the win. But we are seeing now the change being made. It is Ezekiel Rabitu makes his way on. We are yet to see Salisi Rayasi, I believe, at this stage of the match, which is quite surprising seeing as he's been in tremendous form. But I think that also is a bit of a testament to how strongly the rest of the Fijian backline has played. Scotland, though, the second half has been all theirs for now. They need to shut down this Fijian rolling maul short side to Davida Ikanavidi. Very close to the sideline and very close to the turnover from Scott Cummings as well. And it is a knock-on from Fiji. It's now their side and their time to have the mistakes in the lineouts. I love Celestino. He's like a big deal. Where does he play? He was at the Fijian draw last year. Then I think he headed to France. Could be wrong, though. Where does he play? He signed for the French top 14 club. He's at Racing 92 for the 2025-26 top 14 season. We have got there, come on Fiji, says Joseph. And also almost went for a pork vindaloo with a 3 chili rating the other week, says Nick. Now 10 minutes left on the clock here between these two sides. Okay, whole scrum started coming up, says Matthew Carley. So they are just going to have another scrum reset here. The last thing that they can afford is to have any sort of little mistakes here at scrum time, at line out. The handling errors haven't been great from either side in terms of the amount that we've seen the ball dropped. How's it, Hamish? Hope you're doing well. You guys safe the side with the earthquake? Yeah, I think so. I know that there was an earthquake somewhere, but I haven't actually read about it yet. So I assume it wasn't where I am. Now going away to the left-hand side, chance for Scotland. Ollie Smith going out to Tom Jordan. Now moves it on to Tuafana Merva, who will try and back his pace on the outside, and he's got lightning quick wheels for this stage of the contest. And he was just in touch. Brilliant tackle made by Ezekiel Rabitu. Looks like Tuafana Merva may have hurt himself here too. We over there, another like summertime rugby, says Sven, and try England, says Nkabi. But the back line, it was working well and just off the mark. Tuafana Merva, lightning quick, but Rabitu was fresh. And yeah, touch judge actually put the flag up very quickly. You must have seen a clear foot and touch. Oh yeah, there was. Well spotted by the touch judge. We have their powerful 5.9 earthquake strikes near Te Anau in New Zealand. Oh. When did that, what day was that? Rabitu replaced who? Says Mr. Billy, he came on the field for Virumi Whakatawa. But at this stage, I don't think we have seen Salisi Rayasi make his way onto the field as of yet. And now 9 minutes left on the clock. Fiji still down by the 4 points. This game is not over. But they are definitely going to need a big moment here soon, Fiji, because they are still down on the scoreboard. I had a lot of this half where they were, or a lot of this game, in fact, where they were leading. I've had a last night for 5 seconds, says Jason, and also we have got there, I think, yesterday, says Birdie V. Once thrown in again. 1 second, we'll go like this. We'll go like that as well. Now, around the halfway line, Tuafana Merva gets smashed backwards. Now Tom Jordan offloading it up into the hands of, I believe that is the number 16. In this case, making his way off the bench, replacing Gregor Hiddleston there for Seb Stephen. Now Jamie Dobie on to Tui Pilotu. One more try for Scotland would get them the bonus point and would more than likely give them the victory in this contest. And crikey, 5.9 is big, says Nick there. Now break of the line there for Scotland. Tom Jordan couldn't quite get the offload away. In fact, that time it was Burke. Now Dobie on to Tui Pilotu. Ollie Smith skip past out wide. Now cutting back in, Bradbury goes to Tuafana Merva. He's got heavy strapping on that leg, but he pops it up on the inside. Ball's still there. Dobie across to Pierre Skurma, and he gets through one before he's tackled by Tui Sova. Now Tui Pilotu off to Burke, out wide now. Chance for Jordan with some fancy footwork, just stays in the field of play. 7 metres from the line for Scotland with a chance of a bonus point, but they've knocked it on again. Which means now Fiji, they are going to have the knock-on advantage. They're only just out from their own line. Fiji don't make Scotland score, says Joseph. And now Armstrong Ravula has not managed to find touch, and because he's kicked it downfield, it becomes advantage over to Whanwhamurva back up to the 22. I think that was a massive mistake made by the Fijians, and it may cost them here. Dobie away to the left-hand side to Seb Stephen, almost through. There's been some brilliant last-ditch tackles made from these two sides today. Tuipulotu pops it off to McDowell. Another spot tackle from Celestino Rubble to Munda. Still 10 metres from the Fijian line. Bit of a counter ruck from Asoana Silla but Biascoman almost gets over once more. He's already scored himself one in this game, and it's been a real day for the impact players off the bench for Scotland. We're about to see another one. Advantage now in favour of the Scottish for offside. Sander Ferguson up to Scott Cummings. Did he score it? He doesn't look so sure. And it's a wild intercept from Fiji. They haven't awarded it just yet for Scott Cummings here. On-field decision is try, but they're going upstairs to check it. Scots keep shooting themselves forward like bullets. I don't like it at all. It's so incredible. And Fiji still has a sniff at this, and Fiji at least showed some good fight, way better than last week. Says Young Dagger. Yeah, this one's been competitive. And the thing is, right, this game was regarded as one that was supposed to be one-sided. Maybe this will be the closest game of the weekend. Tell you what, I think Cummings has done all right there. It seemed like he initially may have ended up dropping it, but then looked like he just about managed to control the ball in the end. England 14, New Zealand 10 at half-time, says Nkabi there. Right, they're checking this one a couple more times. They're going to be going through it slowly to make sure that they get the right decision. You think Dewey Sober would be a good hooker? Says Young Dagger. I think he'd be pretty decent anywhere out there on the field, to be fair, with the way that man is able to get over the ball. It depends on his line out, I guess, for the hooker department. There's no loss of control. They may award the try, and Scotland now get themselves the 9-point lead. And they have now got the kick to come to. It does go over, and it now makes the score 17 Fiji, Scotland 28. Now what that means is Scotland have the bonus point. They would receive 5 points from this matchup for the Fijians. If they want to receive 2 points from this game, they would need another try. Hey there, Jeremiah, as well. You are a good vacuum. And then a word that I know what it means, but I'm not going to say it. How we have got there, man. It's over. Well done. Them two roll up their sleeping mats and start paddling. And I guess it's over. Let's call it a day. Although it's not completely over. If Fiji scores something in the near future, which again, a mistake made by Scotland, gives the ball straight back to Fiji. Sam Wise on. Same with Sam Matavesi. Everyone called Sam has made their way off the bench now. Also, Salisi Areasi for his first touch since making his way on. Very late change from the Fijian coach to bring a player like Reasi on with 6 minutes remaining, though, could be an absolute X-Factor super sub. Now, Rambitu. Big driving tackle from Pierre Skurman around the thighs. 20 box to beat France by 5. Says Birdie V. Now back across, Rambitu. Rush defence on him by Scotland with Xander Ferguson leading the charge. Reasi. It's across again. I hope Fiji could do it, but the scoreboard looks more realistic now. If Fiji create late magic. You see, Fiji, with the way that they've played in this game, you could argue that, one more try here is probably deserved. Like 2 points on the overall standings would be pretty impressive for Fiji, definitely with how their match went last week. But they can score right at this moment with 5 minutes remaining. They are actually still in this game. Oh, bit of a handling error there from Kitioni Salau. In fact, that was Lakema Tangi Ivalu, who was unable to hang on to it cleanly. Scotland decide to take it quickly, although getting isolated. Fiji over the ball with Tui Sova unable to get that steal. Now back across to the right-hand side. Scotland back with the possession with 5 minutes remaining on the clock. The Fijians' bite was good while it lasted, says Robin. Now putting it up high, nicely taken by Duan Whanwhamurva. Last-ditch tackle, brilliantly done by Fiji, tackling-wise, but even better the handling of the Scots. And Jamie Dobie gets the double off the bench to now make the scoreline look really different to what many would have thought. Are we over there? I'm hungry now, says Sock. Referee was the 16th man for Scotland, says Selena. I mean, Fiji did get penalised a lot. They were probably lucky not to go to the bin, Fiji, with the amount that they did get penalised throughout their half. But unfortunately for them, the gas tank just gave out in the second half, and Scotland came to play through the second 40. And missing out under 20s are very interesting. Says so incredible, yeah. Blame World Rugby for having all the games on at the same time. And how's it, Craig from St Francis Bay is back. Bring what's to hammer Wales today, says Jason Janssen. Yeah, that one is going to be starting up in the very near future. We are going to be covering that game on the channel. And we are starting that stream in about 10 minutes' time. And Fiji, well, nice effort, Buller. Says Sock there. Now, Fergus Burke misses it. Away to the left-hand side. The score separated by the 16 points here, which does mean if Fiji score again, they would only receive the 1 bonus point rather than the 2. But they're running low on time to do it now, with just 3.5 minutes remaining on the clock. But a few risky offloads coming from Scotland, but the risk did bring a lot of reward for them too. Looking at the Scots' last 2 games, they have a lot to work to do in the next year's for next year's World Cup. Although they'll be happy with the second half here because, that first half was about as poor from Scotland in terms of the finishing rate that we could have seen. And it was something that almost felt uncharacteristic, but then saying that was also their downfall the week prior up against South Africa. Well, another mistake, a knock on here. So, yet again, another scrum near the end of this contest. I think this is the worst Fijian performance. I mean, it was definitely their best first half performance we've seen in quite some time. The way that they defended up against the Scottish was absolutely phenomenal. We have seen no side hold up Scotland as many times as Fiji did throughout that half. And every time they just continued with that real intensity. Each and every time they did it, we have got there Fiji beard in the end. Yeah, unfortunately, second half, they did so well in the first, and then second just let it slip through the fingertips. Looking at the Scots last. Oh, no, I read that one. Hello, Hamish. There's Jason there too. Welcome in. Now, last 2 minutes of this match. And definitely a game of 2 halves. Absolutely. Fiji yet to score a singular point in the second half. Scotland have scored 26. The scores do not reflect the game. Well done, Scotland. Fiji came to play in the first half. They just didn't have the legs, says Mr. Monk. Now again, it looks like Scotland are looking for one last play here. Try and lead to another try, although another handling error along the way too, which does now bring the opportunity for Fiji near the end of this contest to still potentially get themselves the bonus point. Stephen McDowell has received the Nation Championship Player of the Match. I feel like everyone would say that Tuisova has been robbed a bit there, even though he will be on the losing side. He was phenomenal out there on the field. And thanks, Amish, says Mr. Billy. There was nothing wrong or nothing worse than that England match against Fiji, says War Plunder. And what we knew would win, says Annie. It's still 1 minute on the clock. You see there, Sam Y. Fiji, technically again, can still get one more. That's going to be a hard scrum to get rid of. And the penalty goes the way of Scotland with the big push over. Pierce Schoolman. Can't be underestimated what type of impact that man has brought for the Scottish off the bench. Now Fergus Burke. Seems like Scotland again are going to be looking towards the corner. Potentially trying to increase that points differential here. Plenty of bark from Fiji in the first half, but a little bite in the second. Like they've just said, the size of Pierce Schoolman and an absolute game changer. 9 seconds left. I think Scotland will go for one last attack here. I don't think they'll just boot this ball into touch. Instead, they will look to be aggressive, or at least I hope they will. We're up to that 80th minute now. The siren's about to sound. Dobie's got it. Oh no, he will kick it into touch for Scotland, and that will end out the game. The score 33 points to 17. The win to Scotland over the Fijians. They also received the bonus point, but unfortunately for Fiji, they will receive 0 from this matchup. And what was a brilliant first half from this Fijian team, the Scottish, they fired back with a vengeance throughout that second 40, changing the matchup and getting the victory. But Dobie off the bench, Schoolman off the bench, Cummings off the bench, all scoring tries that completely changed the outcome. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. We are going to be jumping over to our next live stream now. That is South Africa versus Wales. We might as well start that one up in about 1 or 2 minutes' time. So thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you all for the next one.